welcome back to Drunk on Writing, the Drunk on Writing Show. The Drunk on Writing Show podcast, I believe, is what we're currently billing it as in some way, shape, or another. I've been toying with renumbering it, sort of like comic books do, and saying, like, that sometimes they do, like, here's number one, but it's really like number 251, and they put it like in tiny back in like the corner until they get to like the next anniversary issue, and then they go, isn't it lucky number 300, just to sell like the new comics. I'm kind of debating doing like one of those, like when we hit like episode number 50. Why do you have to make
it complicated?
Well, that's the whole point. Like, I want to simplify it because I feel like, so I started the numbering originally because this show, this podcast, originated as a patron exclusive video years ago, when we were talking about it now, and that went on for a while, and then we started doing it a bit more extravagantly and giving it to everybody, all patrons and everyone, and now we're down to the podcast. And I started at the podcast. I was like, oh, it's number one. Clearly it should be number one. But I don't know. Maybe maybe it should be like when we hit episode number like 14. Now it's episode lucky number 50 or something. I don't know, something like that. Anyways, I am your host, Warren Pawlowski, and I'm joined as always by my lovely co-host, Kim Pawlowski. Kim, how you doing tonight?
Doing good. How about yourself?
Not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad. I'm actually pretty good tonight. I've been feeling relatively isolationist of sort of late.
Have you?
Yeah, a little bit.
Really?
Oh, what? You didn't notice?
Not even a little bit. You've been complaining to me, as a matter of fact. We don't do things. We used to do things. Why don't we do things? So I started planning things, and we've been going and doing things. And now you're feeling isolationist.
Well, I think it's important to go and do things. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying let's not go do things. I'm just saying, like, I feel isolationist. Like, it's not a good thing. It's like the U.S. pre going into World War II, when they were being like isolationist, and they're like holding back, and they're like, we got all this power, but we're just gonna hold on to it, and y'all fix your stuff. That's me right now. I am pre World War II U.S.
You've got to be kidding me.
But this show makes me happy, and I'm glad that we are recording tonight. We feel like we're recording a little earlier than usual.
I would like that noted.
Actually, yes. It
is the 21st of March.
It is the 21st of March. Still slightly later than I would like to record. I'm being honest. In the month, but we're cycling back forward. We're going earlier in the month. It's good. I mean, still, the hope is to still have a month between episodes. It's just earlier in the calendar month.
For the record, I wanted to do this yesterday, and you didn't feel like it.
That is correct. I was not quite feeling it yesterday. I would have brought a much different energy than I'm bringing it today. And I think, I think that's really good that we waited a day.
Yeah. Okay.
I had this thought the other day when I went in to New York. For those who don't know, I work in New York City. And in the mornings when I work in New York City, the first thing I do is I walk into Grand Central. And every day I look up. I look up at the ceiling of Grand Central because it's so cool. It's such a beautiful, cool, gorgeous, like such a unique building.
Mm-hmm.
Lately, I've started to look down.
At the floor?
At the floor. I never really looked down at the floor.
Our thoughts were probably wildly different when we looked down at the floor in Grand Central.
What would you think your thoughts would be?
Filth.
No, their floors are pretty clean.
Oh, think of all the... Oh, sure.
I mean, I'm sure on a microscopic level.
Yeah, I think of all the shoes. Oh, and the sweat.
Well, this is why they don't allow you to sit on the floor anymore. They have announcements going every couple of minutes. Big Brother, like, hey, for your safety, do not sit on the stairs or floor of Grand Central. They don't also tell you that there are no chairs left in the place unless you pay. If you pay at one of the three
You know,
restaurants downstairs, you can
but I
sit down.
never really remember seats in that main area.
There weren't. There were seats downstairs. I don't think there were ever
There's
any
still
upstairs.
seats
There should
downstairs,
be.
aren't there?
There should be more upstairs. No, there are no more seats downstairs.
You can't eat downstairs?
You can eat downstairs, but you're eating standing.
You're kidding.
No.
I didn't notice that the last time I was there.
Yeah, they're just stand up seats now.
Okay.
Unless you go to like the milkshake place, the burger and milkshake place, and or the bar. So you have to pay something to sit down. What's that? Shake Shack. That's what I'm saying.
There's a Shake Shack there?
Yeah.
Okay. I just haven't. I guess I haven't.
I've gotten a shake there. They're expensive.
I haven't.
They're delicious,
I
but they're
haven't been
expensive.
downstairs. I guess.
So recently they added the Long Island Railroad extension to Grand Central, and if you'll believe this, Kim, you go down into the dining area.
Uh-huh.
All right, you following me?
Yeah.
You're downstairs in the dining area of Grand Central, and you're all right. So you're coming down that ramp, where they have the whisper wall,
Yep.
whisper wall area. You're coming down. You got the big, like, kind of like pseudo column of workers in the middle underneath the clock. To your left were restaurants and seats and whatnot, and to your right were also restaurants and seats. To the left now, where those seats were in the middle,
Yep.
is now an escalator going down further.
Oh.
Another level down.
Yeah.
Underground.
Well, we knew there was another level down there. It was
You
just unused.
Did you? You knew this?
Yeah.
I didn't know this.
How did you not know that?
What? How do you know that there's another level of Grand Central underneath the dining area?
I feel like we have talked about this so much over the course of our time together. I just don't even know where to begin with.
What are you talking about?
We've talked several times, several times,
About what?
About how New York.
Uh-huh. Well, yeah, of course. New York has the undergrounds and the undergrounds and the undergrounds to the undergrounds,
Yeah.
and it's like a sandwich of layers. But
So you telling me that they have an escalator going down doesn't surprise me even a little bit.
apparently, though, there's the escalator going down, and then that's as far as I got, because I looked down there, and there were like these saloon-like doors that you would have to pass through with like these orange bars on them, and says, "Enter here for Long Island Railroad." I was like, I'm not going through those. I saw.
Why would you? You gonna go to Long Island?
Well, exactly. I'm not going there. I'm like, I don't want to go. That's further than I want to go. So that was as far as I explored. But I was told via a coworker that you go down that first escalator, you go through those doors, and then you go down an additional escalator that takes approximately, to his estimation, a minute and a half to descend. So you're going down this. And he said he clutches.
That's pretty far.
So he says he clutches onto the railing, and I don't blame him. Like, if you fall down this escalator, he took a picture of it. It's massively long.
You're gonna tumble.
That's what you're just gonna keep going. And I saw this video on Twitter where somebody lost their luggage. It was like one of those old like clamshell luggages like our parents had back in like the 80s, like those really like hard ones, those hard case ones.
My mom never had one.
Oh, my parents did. Those things will kill you. And they dropped it down the escalator, and it just, wham, it was like a torpedo going down the escalator, just took people out. I mean, I imagine that could and will happen eventually one day.
Where are we going with this?
So anyways, this is a big hole underneath Grand Central. But I was thinking to myself, as I was entering Grand Central, I just like to be in Grand Central. It's just a gorgeous building. I just want, my thought was, I love that I get to walk into Grand Central on a frequent basis because I think it's just a gorgeous building. Today I actually walked.
It's a little boastful.
Yeah, well, today I actually walked up, was it Park Ave, to go to the bank, and there's that building. I forget what it was called. It was like the Harrington building. That's completely wrong. The Hemingway building or the Herringway or something. But it's the building where the cars drive through it on the other side of Grand Central.
Sure. Yep. Uh-huh.
That's such a cool building. Like, I kind of think of that as part of Grand Central, and Grand Central there are exits from Grand Central, entrances to Grand Central, I suppose, in there. But I just love that building too. I just
Speaking of buildings, are you in New York? Are you familiar with the Jenga building?
what?
The
Like
Jenga building.
you mean like the puzzle? Like
Yeah.
no, I'm not aware of the Jenga building.
It's New York City's Jenga Tower, 56 Leonard, which I'm sure it's like nowhere near
If it has
anything.
a name, if it's not a number, it's going to be
It's
either
in
downtown or
Tribeca.
it's going to be okay. There we go.
Yeah, it's in Tribeca. But it's built like Jenga, and it like freaks people freaks people out
Let me see this.
because of yeah because of how
Okay,
it's built.
that's Jenga.
Oh,
Oh, that's the building.
yeah.
Well, those are just the balconies that are weird looking.
I'm
What
not.
the
I don't
heck?
think so. No.
Oh, that's a weird looking building. It's
Yeah.
neat though. It's got it for those listening. You should look this up. It's called what is it? The 56 Leonard Street in Tribeca, Manhattan, also known as the Jenga Tower. It's for the penthouse is for sale for just $30 million. Kim, we should, maybe we can, put that
There
as a
there
patron goal. Let's all root together.
there are
Well,
lower.
everybody can get one room, get one night in this tower. We got
um
365 days. That's a pretty good deal.
there's lower apartments that are only a 5 mil.
That's still a lot.
I know.
The commute would be very nice though for me.
I feel like it would. I mean, I feel like it'd still be like a half-hour commute. Like it is it gonna be?
I wouldn't even know. I wouldn't even hesitate. I don't even know where that is. Tribeca. Where the hell is Tribeca? I gotta say, I don't think I've ever been to Tribeca. That's Queens, isn't it? Part of Queens,
Yeah,
near
I think
Queens.
so.
The people in Tribeca are gonna get pissed.
Why?
I don't know. New Yorkers, man, they get, they get like, oh, this is the Drunk on Writing Show, the flagship title for the Drunk on Writing channel. Be sure to head on over to youtube.com/drunkonwriting to check out the latest episodes and all past episodes, like recently did The Stand and The Case of the Curiously Quick Conclusion, Drunk on Writing dissection addendum, or head on over to drunkonwriting.com for early ad-free access to the latest video, which, Kim, I need your help on this one.
Okay.
Well, I need your advice, really.
All right.
I've been working on this video, this animated video, this, what is it? Cold War II ISS Boogaloo,
Yes.
episode 3,
Yeah.
which, for those in the know, episode 1 came out a long time ago. And that was mostly just my friends and I going back and forth discussing it. And then episode 1 was really like a prologue, and then episode 2, which was really called episode 1 to everyone else, but it's episode 2 for me, was the first animated one. This is the next animated one. And it's a lot of work, because at first I have to figure out, what the visuals will be for each scene. And I've had to listen to this description, and shout out to Kuong for doing this. I've had to listen to this description so many times to get all the details right, because people will throw something in that completely affects the rest of the story. So I've tried to piece things together, like certain characters become other characters as the story progresses as needed.
Yep.
I had to figure out a way for them to talk to each other when they're supposed to be on opposite sides of the pool and wearing helmets. And then, trying to hold their breath when they're underwater, but they were supposed to be wearing helmets. And so like there are these little things that I've had to wiggle, but it's a lot of work. The time passes so quickly while I'm doing it. I don't know that I'm going to get it done by the end of the month. Now,
Okay.
It is March 21st. I have 10 days before the end of the month. I have time to devote to it.
Sure.
But at the pace that I'm going, I don't know that I'm going to finish it. So at this point, with 10 days remaining in the month, do I work to try to finish it? knowing at this current pace that it seems like that's going to be difficult? Or do I try to come up with another video for the end of the month within the next 10 days that I would have to research, write, script, film, edit,
Well, how long does that
which is
process
also,
take?
well, again, I don't know, it's difficult. Both difficult. Or do I turn off drunk on writing for a month? Now, that last option is a bit nuclear. And I said, if I ever got to the point where I couldn't deliver on drunk on writing, I would do that. I'm not going to, I don't want to ask patrons for something that I can't deliver. But I feel like I can deliver. It's just that it's like a case of biting off more than I can chew,
Yeah.
right? Where it's just
I feel
harder
like-
than I anticipated.
I feel like you should come up with another video and then take your time on that one. You don't want to rush through it, but I know you have so many ideas in your head and topics, and you could probably turn that around by the end of the month.
How about, now, I just did a Stephen King episode on Silver Bullet. No, not Silver Bullet. What is the regular book called? What's the book itself called? Cycle of the Werewolf. Cycle of the Wolf? Cycle of the Werewolf. Which reminds me also that I need to make an appointment with some eye doctor so that I can get new glasses so that I can get rid of the glare
know,
on
but
these
you have to
glasses. I gotta
call-
figure that out.
Yeah.
I gotta figure that out. Because it was causing focal issues in the last episode. But so my thought is, even though I just did a Stephen King, even though I just did Cycle of the Werewolf, and logically the next episode should be Cycle of the Werewolf's adaptation, Silver Bullet. I could push the Stephen King ranking up a month and do that, ranking his first decade, because
Absolutely.
Silver Bullet started the next month, and I think I could turn that one around fairly
Yeah.
quickly because I have it all.
Yeah,
I just need to consolidate it.
definitely. Do that.
All right. That's what's going to happen. Ladies and gentlemen, the executive decision has been made. I think it's the right one. I think it's a good call. Thank you, Kim, for your help and your feedback. So, Kim, tell me what you reading? What you watching? Playing?
I read nothing.
Listening? I feel like you're playing some. Is it the coloring game? What is this coloring game that you and Olivia are so into lately?
It's just called Color Me. That's
It's
all
called
it is.
Color Me. What are you guys so into it lately? Every time I look over, you're just like tapping away. It just seems like it seems like a very zen kind of game.
It is. It's very relaxing. But they have trophies and things like that. She's not into any of that. She just likes, I think, tapping and seeing it light up with a different color. But
She definitely does like that. Like she'll be like, "Dad, help me find this color. I can't find it."
I'm doing it.
And as soon as I do, she tears the phone away from me. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. Yes. But that's just, a relaxing thing. What have I watched? I've watched the movie with Ashton Kutcher and Reese Witherspoon called Your Place or Mine on Netflix. That was very cute. I liked that.
The only thing I saw about that movie was the awkward red carpet appearance.
Yeah. No, I mean, they were good in it. They were good. I liked it. And the girl from Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, actually, both of them are in it. The girl who plays the girlfriend, or the ex-girlfriend, Rebecca,
She's in the movie?
is in it. And her friend.
Which one? The one with the nose piercing?
Yes. Yeah, she's also in it.
Are they playing themselves? Are they playing the same characters?
No.
Is this in the universe of My Crazy
No.
Ex-Girlfriend?
Absolutely not. No.
Could it be in her mind?
I guess.
Interesting.
I guess. I mean, it's not though.
So in my head, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend continues. I got spoiled on something about My Crazy Ex-Girlfriend recently, accidentally.
Yeah.
and you probably already know it. Do you?
I don't know. No, I don't. I
All
don't.
right. I'm. You haven't wanted to watch it lately, so like I've been dying to like see this thing happen.
Uh huh.
So every now and again, I'll be like, "Hey, you want to watch it?" And you'll be like, "No, let's watch Seinfeld." And I'm like, "I'm not gonna fight that," you know.
Yeah.
I like watching
We
Seinfeld.
we've been watching. You know, I got asked today at work.
Remember when you didn't like Seinfeld?
I got asked today at work if I watch Seinfeld.
Did you really?
Yeah, totally random. On the conversation, I was having a conversation with, I think, with my vice president, and he's like, "Do you watch Seinfeld?" I'm like,
It's a
"Yes."
cultural touchstone.
I've also been watching Luckiest Girl Alive with Mila Kunis, and that's been interesting so far. This one is about she gets a job, right? She gets
This is the Mila Kunis show.
yeah,
Okay.
she gets a great fiance, but her past is really like dark. She survived a school shooting, and people say she was behind a lot of it. So
Oh, jeez.
I haven't seen. I'm like midway. So we'll see what happens.
Is that the show you watch when you're on the treadmill?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why?
Because sometimes you watch it and it's like really loud when we're like right near the dining room area, which is right above the treadmill.
Oh
And so
yeah.
sometimes I'll be like, let's go over here. You know, because it would be like,
Why?
there's nothing like, it doesn't sound like it's actually bad, but kind of like the muffledness of it kind of makes it sound like, I don't know, it sounds violent, is really what it sounds like.
It's not at all.
Yeah, but it's because it sounds like people are like it sounds like an action thriller kind of movie.
No.
That's why I was asking. I was like, I thought maybe it was like the Hunger Games,
No.
you know, something like that.
Not at all. No. Because it's loud because the treadmill is so loud.
Yeah. No,
Um
I get it, and once when we're not like directly above it, it's not a problem. I think I should probably put some like soundproofing or something, but I have to add that anywhere to most of the basement. But it's just like you know, once we're in the living room, it's fine. But it's just funny. I was just like, damn, wow, you know, like I like my speakers pretty loud sometimes, but it's like you know,
no. And it really doesn't even seem like there's times I'm like, damn, I need this louder because I just the treadmill and I'm running, so it's I don't know. Sorry.
no, it's nothing to apologize for. And again, once I move, once we're not there, it's fine. It's just I
Maybe I
and
should get some wireless headphones. I wonder if
with
that works.
no, we'll watch TV. Well, I mean, unless it's if it's too quiet for you, if it has to be louder, then
No, I mean I'm not gonna bust out my
yeah,
eardrums,
yeah.
but I and we've been playing the video game, the whatever that's called,
Night Book,
night book.
which is yeah, there is a night shift, which is also another kind of FMV choose your own adventure sort of game. This one, what do you think about this game, Night Book? It's
I think it's super dark.
for those who don't know, Night Book is a recorded full motion video game that you what is that?
Sorry.
Oh, we're getting pinged. It's a full motion video game that you make the decisions and you get depending on your decisions you get certain scenes and certain endings. And before we followed a guide, I think we got 2 out of 15 of the possible endings. And we played I think 5 times through. And we were like 4
No.
times through.
No. We played like twice.
No, we played more than we played. I think we played 4 times and got 3,
Nah, maybe.
something like that. 3 times and got 2. But it was at a point where I said, we're gonna look something up and see what needs to be changed because it was like the randomest things caused a change in this one. It didn't really seem to flow necessarily. Like it wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna go through this door so I don't meet the monster in that room. It's more like, oh, I read option 3 before I read option 1, or I read option 2 and then option 3. That changes it, which I found a little weird, but it's fun. I like these kind of games.
Yeah. How about you? What are you doing?
I fell into the hole that is Arrested Development before it was supposedly going to fall off of Netflix. But then,
Yeah.
about the day that I thought it was supposed to go off the air, the little label that says leaving Netflix March 31st disappeared. And I said, oh, that's interesting. Maybe they just took it off, because it's the last day.
Is it still on
It's
there?
still on there
Oh my
because
god,
it
you
had such
busted your
it
ass?
had such a spike in viewership that it's still on there. Yes, I busted my butt. I watched the last one at like 11 o'clock that night. And you know what? I got to tell you, this was my second time watching season 4, which they've since the first time I watched it, they kind of like re-edited it and reformatted it a bit. And my first time seeing season 5 at all, I really enjoyed it. I really dug it, and I
That's
loved
good.
the first 3 seasons. I mean, they're classic, but like the last two, even though it seemed like it could have been tighter and maybe r- written a little better, but I felt that about a lot of things lately. I It was funny. It had a lot of funny moments. It had
That's
some clever
good.
twists. It was rather enjoyable. I really dug it. I'm glad I watched it.
So, what's the last season of that show? How many seasons?
There-
Was season 5 the last one?
yes,
So, I vaguely remember watching Ellen. I think Portia de Rossi agreed to do the final season.
she was only in the final episode.
Okay. I knew there
Spoilers.
was something. I knew there was something about that.
Yeah, she like vanished
Yeah.
because of story reasons. I mean,
She just
kind of.
yeah, she just didn't want to do
Yeah,
it.
of course, and
Yeah.
they very much kind of notified.
Yeah.
They mentioned that.
Yeah.
I also started watching House of Cards, which we started watching many moons ago, but could only watch an episode or two before you were
It
like,
was
nah,
just it wasn't for me.
I'm really digging it. What a show! Really shows you the scumbaggery that is in politics. Pretty awful stuff.
Well, so does Scandal.
Yeah.
I would argue Scandal's way better than House of Cards.
You haven't seen. Okay.
I like I can't I have a real problem with names today. All day I just can't think of names. I don't know. Olivia Pope. That's who she plays. I
That's
like
fine.
her. I don't know, whoever that actress is. I like her.
Okay. I watched a. I glimpsed some of Scandal while you were watching it. Couldn't really follow it. Seemed like a soap opera. We also watched Infinity War, which we have not yet finished. We're
I'm
in the
not really
process.
watching that
Well,
though.
I'm watching it with the kids because this is part of Matthew and my watch of all of the Black Panther stuff.
Mhm.
So we're watching like the Black Panther through line.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever watched Black Panther and then Infinity War back to back like the way I just did. Makes the Black Panther stuff a lot stronger. So I'm looking forward to kind of getting through this. What are you giggling about?
I
What?
can't think of this woman's name.
What woman?
Olivia Pope.
The woman from Scandal?
Yes. It's bothering me. I know her name.
You're just.
I've talked
I'm
about
sitting over
her
here like talking about Infinity War, and you're just sitting over here like giggling.
because it's ridiculous that I can't. I think it's absolutely ridiculous.
Did you get her?
Kerry Washington. I knew
Kerry
it was
Washington. Oh, I've heard
in
of
my
her.
head. I was thinking Kerry Russell, but I'm like, no,
No,
Kerry
not her.
Russell is not her.
No, she's the Americans. And also that other show. What was the other show? Felicity.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, we also watched Rocky.
Rocky.
Our video club
Yes.
pick of the month. Kim, this was your pick. And of course, Rocky is a 1976 American sports drama film directed by John G. Avildsen and written by and starring Sylvester Stallone. It is the first installment in the Rocky franchise and also stars Talia Shire, Burt Young, Carl Weathers, and Burgess Meredith.
Yep. Rocky.
Kim, this was your pick. Why? What made you pick Rocky? First off, before you even get there, give me your top level thoughts about Rocky because I feel like you're about to bust at the seam.
No. I picked Rocky because I've heard a lot about it over the years, especially from you. You ever seen Rocky? No, I've never seen Rocky. You gotta see Rocky. And it's been on a couple of, best movies ever made lists that I've seen. And we've watched some bad movies this go around of Drunk on Writing podcast. Like terrible movies. So I wanted a good one. I wanted a really good pick.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
What?
What do you mean?
We've watched some bad
Terrible movies.
movies. We've watched some bad movies.
What is the worst movie that we've watched? Elvis?
Weird was probably
Get
the
out of
worst.
town.
Oh no.
Get out of town. I know weird is
Worst
at the
one.
bottom because of your satire, your hatred of satire, but that was
It
not
was
that bad of
awful.
a. You're talking about it like these are like the worst of the worst, like Mystery Science Theater kind of level movies. It is not.
It was bad. So I wanted a good pick. So that's why I picked Rocky. Top level thoughts of Rocky. I thought it was a good film, but I was disappointed with some of the things, right? I was disappointed in the end. I thought there was so much build up and build up and build up and this other guy's not paying attention and not training and Rocky's taking it so seriously. Like they really played it up that he had this in the bag. And that didn't turn out the way I thought it was going to. Right? I thought it was a decent movie. Did I think it was one of the greatest films ever made? No. I don't really know why it is on the lists for that reason. Like, why? Like, was it good? Yes, it was good. It was a good movie. Why was it? I just don't. I don't see the correlation between like greatest movie ever made.
I want to read you this excerpt from Rocky's Wikipedia entry.
Okay.
With an estimated production budget of under $1 million, Rocky popularized the rags to riches and American dream sport themes of sports dramas which preceded the film. Among other accolades, it received 10 Academy Award nominations and won 3, including Best Picture. It has been ranked by numerous publications as one of the greatest films of all time, as well as one of the most iconic sports films ever. In 2006, the Library of Congress selected Rocky for preservation in the United States National Film Registry for being culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant. The film's success led to 8 sequels. This is a good film. Okay? Okay, I am not going to take your flack against Rocky. This is a good film. I will let you say things about weird. Okay, I will let you get away with some stuff about weird, and I'll take it, and I'll say, you know what?
I
I
said
will go
it was
with you,
good.
and I'll put it at the bottom of the list. We'll put it at the bottom of this. We'll appease you. I understand. But this film, I was crying this time watching it. At the end of the film, when he goes the distance, and he's just like
I was disgusted.
I felt the love story this time so much more than I ever have before when I was watching it, and I know you were like, "It's a love story? What?"
No, I got the love story. I get that. I get how it was a love story. I saw the love happen.
When she goes off into her room and he goes after her and he just walks in and she's sitting there and she goes, "You want a roommate?" And he goes, "Absolutely." And it just, they're just like, it's such a soft spoken, just subtle, just like loving, like like the way he even talks about it is like, how did he say it? We're missing pieces or we're loose or,
we fill in the gaps.
we fill in the gaps. We got gaps, and together, we fill them in. And like, I really liked that part of it. And like, he didn't. What I love about this thing is that he didn't want to fight. Like he keeps saying, like I don't want to do that, but I feel like I gotta. Like he just feels like pressured into it, and he doesn't. He just he's doing it to make him feel that he's not just a piece of shit and that he's not worthless. That he has something to bring that is different. He's got a fire to prove. And I don't know. I really like that it's a very positive kind of energy, kind of
It
storyline.
definitely is. I wish he won at the end. I do. I wish he won. I didn't say it was a bad movie. I just didn't understand why it was a great movie.
I want to ask you something. Are you interested in seeing any of the sequels?
No.
Would it interest you to know that Rocky 2 picks up immediately at the end of Rocky 1? Continues the story.
Maybe, but I did read that he loses most of the fights in the movies.
What are you reading the spoilers for? Why you always gotta go reading the spoilers?
Okay, and
Miss, I'm not interested in the sequels, but I'm gonna find out what happens in all of them.
No, I don't. I don't know what happened. I don't know which movies he loses in, if he ever wins. God, I hope in 8 movies, I hope he wins at least one. I mean,
I think I've only seen the first 2.75. Like the first two certainly, and then like half of 3, and then like a quarter of 4 or so, and then maybe like trailers for the rest of them.
so what also distracted me throughout this entire film, watching it, was how much he reminded me of someone we know. Like, I couldn't get past it. I'm like, I just kept thinking it over and over and over. I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. Like, the entire time, I kept thinking, I'm watching him on film.
I
Like,
actually, and I, if we're talking about my brother,
yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
Yes. So I actually texted my brother.
No, you didn't.
I texted my brother while we were watching the movie. Shout out to Ian. And shout out to our patrons and our sponsors for this episode. My best friend, Ariya, and my brother, David. Shout out to you guys for helping to make this happen. But I want to talk about a different brother for a second. I said, we're watching Rocky, and I'm laughing my ass off at how much his mannerisms remind me of you.
Yes.
It's like watching an alternate reality version of you. He says, that's awesome, enjoy, and I miss you.
No, I mean, it was
uncanny.
It was, I just couldn't, I'm like, that's
right?
the end. That is just, like, what is happening?
I don't know if maybe it's just that that was around the time.
Is this like a personality that just exists?
I mean, it was similar, I think, to his world, back then.
Warren, it was within the first 10 minutes of the film, like,
I know.
oh my God.
I know. It was wild. It was in the way he talked, and the way he spoke,
walked,
the way he
he was with the girl.
The way, yeah, everything about him. Yeah.
So maybe that also colored my.
So did that
view
make
of
you
the
like the
film.
movie, or
It
dislike
was,
the
I
movie
don't know,
more?
it
It's
was
like
so
you're watching
distracting.
Ian go and be like, he's gonna be a boxer now.
No. I mean, because he doesn't look like him.
No, he doesn't look like Sylvester Stallone.
No, but that's all I kept thinking. The entire time, I'm like, oh.
I kept waiting for you to say it to me, and I was
did
like,
say it. I did.
Sure. I'm waiting the entire movie for you. Like, is she gonna think it? Because I thought it. Of course, I thought it. I've thought it for a long time. I thought it more acutely this time. But I'm waiting for Kim to say, like, he reminds me of him. And you don't say nothing. And eventually I'm like, does he remind you of anyone? You're like, your brother. I said that. I was like, what are you? And we do know, it is a known fact. This is a stated phenomenon that Kim often says things in her head.
No.
She thinks are out loud. This is known. It is known.
I said this to you out
know
loud.
There's no way.
110%. I said it out loud. I think Matthew was even in the room with us because it was early on. It was for all the horrific fighting.
If Matthew was awake right now, I'd call him in as a character witness.
No, and then the only other thought is, I personally just found the end of the movie like really hard to watch.
The brutality of it?
Yeah, really, really hard. Like, I've seen some stuff in movies. I don't know. That one was hard for me to watch.
The makeup, really well done.
Yeah. No, I'll give it that. I
You
mean,
know,
it
it's
was
just harsh.
it
Yeah.
was but it was really not something that I want to see. It's
Right.
just it's
The gush of blood when they cut his eye open, his
I did
eyelid.
not see it.
Oh, you looked away?
Warren, I just no. I can't watch that stuff.
Oh. It was, I mean, it was, and then the commentators over it were saying, like, oh, he's coughing up blood now. It's like, I don't think that the fights would be allowed to go that long today. I think this was a different world back then, probably a few less regulations at that time. So I don't think that I don't even think they go for 15 rounds anymore. You know, I think people are more likely to tap out too. I think it's worth it to go the 15 rounds and get your head smashed in. You know, they think more, sponsorships and, their dollars and whatnot. Like, it was a different time. So, Kim, let's look over our ranking.
Yeah.
At number 7, we have Weird.
Yep.
At number 6, we have Elvis. At
Yep.
number 5, The Atom Project. At number 4, Life. At number 3, Dunkirk. At number 2, Don't Look Up. And at number 1, The Gray Man.
So I have to put it at 1.
You would put what? What?
I said it was a good movie.
Damn, I
said
wasn't
that.
expecting that.
I said it was a good movie. However, I was a little disappointed in certain aspects of it.
Now, here's one thing that I did not mention.
Yeah.
Since the last episode, I went and I rewatched The Gray Man.
Yeah.
I really liked that movie.
Yeah.
Now,
you really liked it then, too.
Yeah. I had forgotten how much I liked it. I'll probably forget how much it is again. It kind of flows over you like a good beer or a good wine. It's just like, oh, this is enjoyable, but there's not a lot to really grab onto. There's no iconic moments. There's no iconic dialogue that comes out. There's some good quips, but there's nothing. I think it was in the way it was directed, the way it was filmed. It's not quite masterpiece level. It's a tight it's a tight script. It's well performed. It's just not there. And that was our number 1 before. I think Rocky is a fantastic film. I think it's a classic for a reason. I think it's not perfect. I think, as I've said before, it's definitely a product of its time. It's a film emblematic of that era and in that area. I think what I really appreciate about it is there's a lot of times where the camera just sits on silence and all we see is like the faces of the people as they're accepting what's happening or not accepting what's happening. I really liked it. I agree with you. I think it should be number 1.
Okay, cool.
I think that's great. So, our new ranking for Volume 2 of the Drunk on Riding Shows Video Club, we got to work on our branding on that, is now, why can't I enter it? Why can't I put it? I don't want to put it there. I want to, oh, there we go. Is now Rocky. Number 1, Rocky. Number 2, The Gray Man. Number 3, Don't Look Up. Number 4, Dunkirk. Number 5, Life. Number 6, The Atom Project. Number 7, Elvis. And number 8, Weird. Now this is my favorite part of doing the video club, is when I get to pick something.
Telling me what you're going to subject me to.
What I'm going to subject you to. Yes, that is correct. Kim, one of my favorite video games recently was adapted into a television show that people have gone gaga over. People say it's very, very good. And I would rather like to watch it with you.
Witcher?
The Last of Us on HBO Max.
Oh yeah, I've heard a lot about this. Yeah.
So my video club pick for next month.
It's a full TV show.
It's a TV show. We're going TV show. I think there are 9 episodes. I don't know if they're an hour long, but there is something of a commitment. maybe we'll, I plan on watching the whole thing, but at least, watch the first episode.
All right.
If you're not into it,
Well, I played the video game with you.
did you play it? Or you were
No, I
you
played it. I
want
think
you
I played it by myself.
you did?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Or if I'd known that, I forgot about it. I know you were.
I
I know
didn't.
you watched at some point
I didn't play the new one.
the part two.
Yeah,
Well,
I played.
this only covers the first one.
Yeah, that's the one I played. I mean, it was years ago, like, I don't know,
Oh,
2018.
that's awesome. So we've both played it. Oh, that's going to make this even more interesting. So
Yeah.
yes, The Last of Us,
Okay.
the TV show.
Not terrible. I'm not dreading this one.
Oh, excellent! It stars Pedro Pascal, right, and Bella Ramsey.
Okay.
So it's on HBO Max. So go watch The Last of Us for next month, and we will talk about it then. And of course, I will leave posts at drunkonwriting.com for patrons to chip in and talk and chat and comment on the show. What's the matter, Kim? You're not. Yours isn't going to say nothing because yours doesn't have anything in it. Yours is just a straight microphone. So we'll post them there, and we'll post for comments, and come over to drunkonwriting.com and join us. Be a patron. Help support the channel. Help it grow. Help it. I got this really lovely comment from somebody recently on YouTube saying, I feel sorry for you because you have so little followers, but your content is great, and I'm loving your content. Thank you. I thank you for the comment. I appreciate it. We appreciate it. We're here. We're growing. There's a lot of content out there. All I want to do is, this is a source of positivity. And that's what I try to do, as the mission statement for Drunk on Writing says. It's helping reality not destroy you. I like that. So that's what I'm going to continue doing. Remember, as that video that I did not too long ago, you matter. So, until next time, Kim, you got any last words? Want to give any last shout outs?
Nope.
All right. Until next time, this is Warren. That's Kim. And as always, cheers and keep on writing.